being live 660. Thanks again to Breeze DBL, who's holding it down with me tonight, along with it's hard for me to call you a guest because you one of the pioneers of the station, but Atmo Morris 660 is in the building. The conversation about Donald Sterling and the LA Clippers is intensifying in here, and there are definite differences in opinion. Right now on the line, though, I have a young man who worked for Donald Sterling, Mr. Steffond Johnson. Are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here. I do not work for Donald Sterling.
Worked. I put a D, E-D, worked. Did you?
I did not work for Donald Sterling.
Okay, who worked for the team that he owns now?
I played basketball
Okay.
in the NBA for a team that Donald Sterling owned, the LA Clippers.
So we had nice conversation earlier today, and now you're gonna smash me with the semantics.
Yeah, I
huh?
got to.
Okay, I feel you, brother. I feel you. You get that. You get that. Nah, that wasn't the intention. But you know
he
what?
was paying for my food and paying for my cars and all that other stuff.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm buying cars and putting clothes on these people back. That's what he said. So it's all good. Nah, just messing with you. What's up, brother?
What's going on, young fella?
Nothing much, man. All right, so let's start with this. What was your experience like playing for the Clippers, as far as he's concerned?
I mean, it's you know how that goes. You know, anytime you have a dream or a goal in life and you attain that goal or that dream, you know, you're excited. You know, African Americans owning their first home way back in Jim Crow era, even though it was in a all-white neighborhood that was saying, nigga, get out. They were just happy to have a home, you know, and they dealt with whatever they had to deal with because it was a dream realized. And when you're, you know, African American playing for a professional team and you get paid lots of money, it still doesn't take away the part that robs you of your human dignity when someone just simply hates you just because of something you had nothing to do with, the color of your skin. Basically, it's an indictment on God as opposed to an indictment on the individual. But I had a great experience playing the little bit of time that I did get on the floor. It was great. You know, it was a dream realized.
So now, when you were playing in the league and you were playing for the Clippers, was he the owner of the Clippers?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so was he a meddling type owner? Did you have much interaction with him?
Well, he's the same. You know, leopard doesn't change spots. I mean, he was always, you know, kept his distance from us, made sure that, you know, we knew he was the slave master sitting courtside.
Wait a minute, wait. So
whether he understood the game or not, you know, nobody ever knew. I don't really think Don Sterling even understands any of the rules of the game, to be honest with you. So, you know, this is a guy that, you know, like I told you before, that young lady is probably a plant, somebody that really hates this man, found the freakiest woman they could find. Oh, I guess that means I'm getting X-rated.
No. People, some more.
What woman is it?
Some
He's
more,
coming for you, Steph.
Yeah, some more guests to enter in the
guess
building.
so. Must be somebody. NSA, huh?
Nah. Oh, wow, right. So, okay,
This is a huge conspiracy. Well, I think it's a conspiracy. I think that woman was a plant because you can't tell me that out of all the men and rich men in the world that she would choose him. She was sent in. That was an undercover deal, and mission accomplished today. They got him out of the league. They finally got him out. They got the freakiest woman they could find. So they go in there and roll and just turn him out.
Wow, we did this. I wasn't sure you were going to say that. We did discuss that. Go on, young man. Go on.
I'm saying, come on, man. Look, think about it. Think about this. You know, look at her. Now, you said, man, she ain't all that. And I say, okay, right. Maybe
No. I said she's cute, but she's not like, you know, she's not fine. I mean, she's all right. She's not fine though.
I don't even see now. See, that's bad for you. You can go there. Okay, she is fine. If you ran up on her in a bar, and she had a couple drinks.
10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Okay?
All right.
So we're not gonna go there on what she's not.
I appreciate
but
that too.
I can tell you what she is. She's an opportunist, and
right.
she sees the moment. And Don Sterling, he's been in Los Angeles long enough to know those women out there are mercenaries. They will go in for whatever the job is and get it done for whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish or whatever they're trying to get out of the deal. We're gonna hear a lot more about this. This timing of this thing, just the questions she was, posing to him, and I mean, a woman with any kind of self-respect, when he started saying those things, like, "Don't ever call me again," and hung up the phone.
Right.
Don't ever call me again. And that was it. There was nothing else to say. No, none of us would have ever heard it. It was a private conversation. But because she knew from the beginning that this was going to be something that this was her meal ticket.
Right. So
we're not going to find out, till later, to all that's behind it. But, women and people that do things like this, it gets worse for them, because this is about as low as you can get. I would hate if you and I are having a conversation and you're taping the conversation, even in the state of Texas, only one person has to know that the conversation is being taped. Well, of course, the person who's taping it knows. So some politician, somebody, whoever passed that law, But in Texas, you can tape all your conversations, and you don't have to tell anybody.
All right. So in full disclosure, right? You Sundays from 10 to 12. In full disclosure, you have invited me down to Texas to come hang out at one of your homes, and I'm completely afraid of Texas because I've heard about people being dragged on the back of pickup trucks, and now you can tell me somebody could tape my conversation. So, is it safe for me to come down there?
Well, Texas is a republic. A lot of people see Texas as a state. If you do a little research on Texas is a different place. I left Texas to go to Louisiana, and that's a foreign country. They got, French laws, the whole nine. But Texas is as safe as anyone. No American, let me just make it real clear. No American is safe, period. So people were running around thinking they got guns for safety, or they got alarms, or they got gates around. Come on, really?
Right.
At the end of the day, nobody in America is safe anymore. So the facade of safety is, people are just making money off that, But yeah, you'll be safe if you're hanging out. We go somewhere and you feel uncomfortable. It's too many white people, or you see somebody that's neck is unusually red and it's bothering you. Okay, we can leave. But for the most part, not many people bother people that look like they're not to be bothered.
No,
I don't go around looking like I'm somebody you need to.
Steph, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've been to Texas. It's all good. Y'all got great beef. Y'all got great beef down there too. It's great beef down there. All right, hey Steph, let me ask you a question. Tell me where you think this story goes now. So Donald Stern got the lifetime ban, the $2.5 million fine. What else comes out before this story subsides?
Well, I think class action lawsuit should be in order against the NBA and the Los Angeles Clippers, against any employees that have worked for this man as long as he's owned the team. And there's going to be some statutes of limitations for people like me, who it was like, more than a few decades ago. But the statute should only go into existence. It should only kick in after you become aware that there's an issue. I didn't know the man was a racist. So the thing that I find troubling about the whole thing is everybody is focused on the sports aspect of it. This man is an employer.
Right.
We got some serious issues going on here. The sooner they can stamp this thing out. If the NBA forces this man to sell a team, he should be happy to get out of it, because it's going to be really hard after he's no longer an owner to come after him. If he just liquidates everything and just gets out, now the onus is on the NBA to prove that they didn't know that this man was a racist, and they can't prove that. They can't prove that they didn't know he was a racist. They knew he was a racist. So now being a racist is not a problem. I'm from East Texas. I'm country as a dozen of fresh brown eggs, man. It don't get no country. Okay?
Wow.
I'm from East Texas. All right, that's like hillbilly.
I didn't even know it was. I just thought it was Texas. I didn't know it was an East or West Texas.
Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand, man. We eat critters and all kinds of stuff. Hey, man, this is tough out there. You come out of East Texas, you can live anywhere. They talk about you can survive in New York. You can survive. I could take a New Yorker to East Texas and he would kill himself. swamp full of alligators. Just wanted to end it. But anyway, point is that being a racist is not the issue. This is America still. Think what you want, believe what you want. It's just when you start imposing those beliefs on other people and you affect them economically, and we have laws against that, then that's when it starts to be a problem. And you can't tell me that if this man felt this way, felt this strongly about African Americans, that he didn't look at the Elgin Baylor situation. Now the NBA knew that Elgin didn't have a contract. Elgin working for the Clippers and don't have a contract, and then when he leaves, he wants his pension, he wants his money, and Sterling says, "Well, you and I had a handshake deal. You were never really the general manager. I was just doing you a favor."
Wow.
Now, they didn't know that? Come on, man. So this thing is really bad. So basically what I tweeted, you probably saw it, is this the end of the NBA? This is the beginning. This is how it starts. This is the beginning. I'm sure when Rome fell, I'm sure they said, well, there's some people causing some problems up there. Well, they don't have clothes to wear. Animal skins, they're really bad people. Well, that's the beginning of the end of Rome.
So
barbarians came, so they're coming right now. The lawyers, they're sharpening their knives.
All right, before we get back to that, in the Elgin Baylor situation, how much blame do you put on Elgin Baylor for doing a handshake agreement without having a contract?
Well, Elgin was, we're not going to disparage Elgin. He's an NBA legend, Hall of Famer. But Elgin probably wasn't doing well financially. We know, that that's well publicized how, athletes after 5 years within the time that they retire, the wife leaves first and gets her chunk, attorney, next. And
wait, say that again. Say that again for all my ladies out there listening while I'm still single.
Well, women now, they have a better opportunity to get, if they're really...
You're good. This is the bell. Don't worry about it. It's live radio. It's live radio, Steph. No, it's
women.
Yeah, it might be some people out there now.
Yeah, she's like, somebody saying, literally and figuratively, get off the women. But Elgin was probably like, hey, man, I'll take the job. Right. I'll wait on you to get me a contract. And started working.
Right.
So, I don't know what the dynamics were, but he did the man really bad. Now that this thing looks like it's an end to Donald Sterling, it's an end, really, to the NBA. He's the longest tenured owner.
Right.
Well, let's dissect this. Let's start breaking this thing down on all the madness that this guy has been a part of, and the league did nothing on David Stern. So David Stern can't sit back now and be quiet and say, well, he never really said any N-word or anything.
Well, that was my next question, and everything that's weird to me, and I'm not sure about this when this conversation was taped, and I know that David Stern was out at his 30 year. That he said he was going to be gone, but the timing is quite interesting that he was out right before this scandal came out, and exactly what you alluded to. You said that he had to know, and we know about his apartment buildings and not wanting minorities to live there or whatever, and you know about NBA security, and I'm from a law enforcement background, so I understand that people in the NBA knew about those things, and not to really speak up about it is quite telling about the people who are running the NBA. So how much blame do you give David Stern? And David Stern went out as having an illustrious career. Is this like really a real big black mark on his career?
Well, that's a tough question. But, man, when you look at this thing from where I'm sitting and you start thinking about players' pensions, I'm a guy that played 1 year in the NBA.
Right.
You know how hard it is to get to the NBA? And those people that are making the rules and the laws and all the stuff that govern how the NBA is ran, okay, what knucklehead says, if you make it and you play one game, that should be worth something. But they tell me because I only played one season in the NBA that I'm not entitled to a pension. Well, who's to say right now that I wasn't cut because I look exceptionally black? If you've ever seen me, I'm the epitome of a black man.
You look East Texas black.
Like whatever you do, don't get that boy no money.
Right. Ignore that. People are coming in the studio. Yes, ignore that. Go ahead.
Anyway, I just think that Stern, man, this is a bad deal. He's saying all black people are treated like dogs by Jews. He implemented a lot of people, and he said a lot of things that people think, but they don't ever say. But to have an actual Jew coming out and saying it,
all right. So
I'm Jewish right now. I'm like, well,
all right, Steph,
I don't really feel like that. But then, okay, fine. How do we know if you're not? I mean, this is pretty bad.
Steph, post-professional basketball for you. Now, basketball's over. You played overseas. You played the NBA. Now you're a businessman, right?
I'm an entrepreneur, father, husband.
Entrepreneur, father, husband.
Activist, and minister. You can go on. Minister. You can go on. I know a lot of people out there say, minister. Yeah, I'm a minister.
Now, if you had an opportunity to do a business deal and you found out that somebody may be racist, would you absolutely not do a business deal with them? Or let's take it a little further, and I'll ask every guest tonight the same question. If you owned a McDonald's and a racist person came in to order a Happy Meal, would you not sell it to them because you thought they were racist?
Well, Rasul, let's look at it like this. Let's just go ahead.
Break me down, big brother. Break me down.
Let's look at Jesus. This is a Jesus moment. Let's do the parable. Let's tell a story.
All right, I'm here.
What I found as being an African American in America, African Americans spend a lot of money. They said if we were a country, we would be the 16th largest economy in the world. On how much do we spend? Not invest, spend. Big difference in spending and investing. Spending money, it's not coming back. It could, but it's probably not. Investing money, you're investing with a purpose. You've done your due diligence. So when you say, in the South down here, if white people will make money off of African Americans, they want you to spend your money. They'll do advertising and get your money and your dollars. But when an African American publicizes that he owns a business or he does anything he's endeavoring to make money, for the large part, not saying all, Anglos will not do business with that African American. Now, if it's some food or something in a serving capacity or shiny shoes or something like that, okay, fine. Yeah, they cool with it. But don't endeavor to get into a business that they're like, you can't, you don't know what you're doing. You're not qualified to run that type of business. What do you mean you're an attorney? What do you mean there's this stigma about that they don't think we're as qualified.
Right.
So would I take money from a racist? Absolutely. Would I go in business with a known racist? Why? Why would I do that?
And
that would be the same as going in business with someone who's the IRS. They're in trouble with the IRS, and I go into a business deal with them, sign all paperwork. We're partners. Their problems become my problems.
Right, but that was kind of my point, and we were talking about it on the Sunday show, where there was a big question about, and I believe Chauncey Billups was on NBA TV, and he was talking about he would not have played in that game. And he was talking about his grandparents and the things that they stood for. And Chauncey's probably 30s, mid to late 30s now. So I understand that his grandparents are probably closer to Donald Sterling's age, so that the meaning of things are a little different. But he said he wouldn't have played. Now, I kind of take your position because for me, if I was even a star, if I'm Chris Paul making $20 million a year, I'm going to continue taking this dude's money. I don't respect this guy. I'm never going to be friends with this guy. I'm going to go out there every day as long as that's affecting my check. I'm probably going to do that. I got completely ridiculed for that.
This is the part you're not going to like. This is the part where all people who work for the media are this is where people say, don't ever have that guy on again if you want to keep your radio show.
No.
Okay.
Dude, so we good
all
here.
All the white people, and this is the comedy act. This is my comedy act. But
yes, we are not news.
Value. But all the white people out there that are saying the players shouldn't play are jealous of athletes making the kind of money that they're making. So they're trying to make them destroy the very thing that puts athletes, as African Americans, doctors, lawyers, look at the percentages of us that are doctors, lawyers, professionals. Look at the percentages of us that are professional athletes, entertainers, and so on. If these athletes are that stupid to allow the media to tell them to walk off on a job that only God could have created for them at this time, just like God allowed us to endure slavery. God said, you know what, I'm going to play a real crazy joke on white people for putting y'all in slavery. I'm going to let y'all get paid to basically do what you love to do.
Anyway.
And make them pay you millions of dollars to do it.
Right.
But how would be that stupid not to show up for a job that's not even a job. It's something you love to do. And you will do it whether you're being paid to do it or not.
Exactly. There are only a few people in the world who survive off of doing things they love to do. Most people hate their jobs. Most people work that I know hate what they do. To go out and go play basketball every single solitary day, why would I give that up because this dude is the way he is? Stop it. I wouldn't do it.
There's a reason, Rasul, that people like me don't have a voice. Because you can't muzzle me. You can't. You're not. There's nothing you're gonna tell me that's gonna scare me. Right. You're not gonna say, "You better shut up." What? What are you gonna do? Okay. So what I'm saying right now, the athletes that they're parading in front of CNN's cameras right now, I'm almost wondering if they don't give them like, here's what you can say, here's what you can't say. Don't say anything about this, and make sure we're gonna talk about this quite a bit. So we're gonna stay over here on this. There's so many things that aren't being touched. Thurl is up there, sitting up there. I mean, love Thurl, love Isaiah, love those guys as athletes, as players. As spokesmen for us as a people and what's happening right now. I'm wondering, like, did somebody got their hand up your back or your ass? What are you saying?
Hey, Steph, I got my co-host in here in the building, straight from the Caribbean. Well, he's from America, but he just got back from the Caribbean. He's here in the building. He's over here shaking his head. So I'm gonna let him. I think that he may want to say something to you. I know you.
Go ahead. Go at me.
Can I let him say something to you right now?
For somebody that voices their opinion.
All right,
that's why I said Sterling saying what he's saying is not a problem. Him saying it and trying and making money off people that he's talking about, that's a big problem.
All right, so I'm gonna let my partner ask you a question. This is my man Steph. Steph, that's my man Mo. Let's go.
What's going on, Steph?
Hey, what's up, man? Speak up just a little bit for me. Rasul trying to speak with his bedroom voice. I can barely hear.
Hey, that's what I do.
my bad. Hopefully this is a little bit better. You and I kind of agree on some things, but I guess the point that I'm probably most disagreeable with you on is the fact that you said that you don't understand or you probably wouldn't do the boycott of a game. So I didn't have an issue with them saying that they were going to take the night off one night and just basically show a protest, because I look at it a little bit differently than what Rasul looks at it. And I'm not sure your stance as far as the NBA and whether or not it's the same as working in corporate America. I don't think that it is. I think they're two totally different entities, two totally different things. And I believe that the players actually have a voice. And if these players don't come out with the way that people look at athletes and they look at them as role models and they look at them as having everything out there for them, at some point in time, you got to make a stand somewhere. And if you're not going to make a stand for this, where your manager, your owner is making these comments, and yes, they were private, so I'm a little bit conflicted about the fact that things are happening with him because he was speaking about something in private, but they did get out publicly. So I kind of understand that side of it as well. But when you have a chance to make a stand just to make a show for everybody in the NBA, because you don't want that. The sports is the one arena where we like to believe that racism does not matter at all. So people pretty much tend to come together, whether you're white or black. And I play basketball in college, so people come together.
That's a question or a statement, because I'm trying to follow the question.
Well, I'm just making a statement. My bigger thing is that you said that you wouldn't play, that you would go ahead and play, or you kind of would have an issue.
Let's have a little dialogue, me and you. I'm gonna keep it short so you can give me your thoughts too. Okay,
absolutely.
The only reason I make my money off of the sport of basketball as a sports marketer.
Okay.
So I have to think about things in a different way than you can look at it however you like.
Okay.
But what I know is this, and I'm not some racist or some conspirator. So somebody's out there listening to me and saying, "God, he keeps saying white people." Well,
right.
Come visit me in East Texas. Come go home. I still own property in the little town that I'm from. My grandmother that raised me was born in 1870. She died my junior year at LSU at 114.
Wow.
My family has owned land out there since 1930s, and oil and gas and property and whatever. Unfortunately, I just sold it, because of disputes with heirs. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not a racist, but I've been baptized in East Texas racism my whole life. So when I say don't boycott, there were so many times that we were faced with things where, do we go to school today because of this foolishness? The teachers won't, we back in desegregation, They wouldn't even allow us, when we come to school, the white teachers would barely want to teach us when they start busing us to the schools. So a lot of kids just didn't get an education. So when you don't participate in something that you're committed to do, that you're contracted to do, you're falling into the hands of the people who really don't want to see you doing it anyway. So the boycotting thing, most of the fans are white. When you start turning this thing into something other than sports, like the media is trying to make it right now, something other than enjoyment and entertainment, where people have a chance, they have an option to where they spend their entertainment dollars, their discretionary funds. It's a dangerous thing, man, to not play, and the people bought their you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, see,
but you better remember who's paying you, really.
I get it, but here's where I have I still have a problem with you a little bit, and I don't want to say a problem, but I just disagree with you. Back in the 60s, people had protests all the time for things that they felt that they needed to stand up for. African Americans did it because they wanted to go forward, and they wanted the next generation of people to be able to do things freely. So here we are again in a new age where we have all this social media, and now all of this stuff is out.
I love that.
The pressure is there.
You're good. You're great. Remember, see, I'm not as smart as you, so you got.
Well, I don't know about all of that.
A lot of other things working, but what you just said is critical. You said that we have to stand up for something. You know how we can stand up and use this opportunity right now to teach, all those kids out there who are African Americans who want to be professional athletes, that they should aspire to be owners. That they have to get an education. They have to aspire. They have to strive for excellence.
But the problem,
education,
and I'm with you,
every other way. But being an athlete and trying to say, most of these guys are one and done in college. They don't even have college degrees. So if you take away the opportunity to make money for some of these guys that's playing basketball, where's the business acumen? They got people that they're counting on to invest their money, that hopefully these people are putting it in the right place. This is a time for real dialogue and not about the protesting. Why protest over a fool like that? Well, why? I mean, really, why? Now the situation is somewhat squashed. They knew he was a racist for 36 years.
See, here's my thing, Stephen. You guys are going into commentary that I'm very interested in, and it's like you've got guys out here who have an opportunity to they have opportunities that they would never have. I don't care how smart you are. It's hard for somebody to make $200 million in their career, right? So it doesn't matter to me how intelligent you are. You could be a rocket scientist. He's probably not making $200 million in his lifetime. So why would I even think about jeopardizing what I'm doing? I think that the thing that we have to understand is I know who I am. I understand and respect my situation, and I know who you are, and I have to be able to deal with that accordingly. That's just me. So I mean, I may be off the.
Call you. It's what you answer to.
Right, and I may be off the reservation with my thoughts, and I've got my Sunday partner in here shaking his head, Mo, who's talking to you, but
he's right though. He hit some really strong points, and he's coming at a different angle, and he's drawing the line in the sand and saying it ain't about money. You're gonna respect me. He's saying where is the respect? Okay.
Steph, let me cut you off too. The fight, right? So when we're talking about the fight, and you're a little older than me, but the fight was to be able to the integration fight was the ability. My interpretation of the integration fight was the ability to be included. So inclusion was it, and now it was the integration fight ever to make that people who included you like you.
It's not a matter of them liking you, but it's a different time though. So that fight is over. We get it. We are included, but it's not believed that the fight is done.
Clearly, it's not over.
There's always going to be more fights. So there'll be another fight after this one.
So wait, okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question, right? So the Clippers are for sale now. So are you going to be the guy who says, well, if you're a racist guy who's not a guy who's going to use racism in your employment practices? So, and I'm going to say that, and I'm speaking just hypothetically, everybody who's listening, hypothetically, so you don't text me and tweet me and whatever, hypothetically, to a guy who's going to hire a black coach, who's going to have mostly black players on his team, and a guy who just doesn't like black people, it's a great business opportunity for him.
Not selling it to him. Absolutely.
So there's no business for him in the world. So
I didn't say that.
Well,
I didn't say that.
That's the NBA.
I think right now, what we've digressed to is the more emotional, and this is the hurtful, personal part of this whole thing. And he wasn't a personal, private conversation that got exposed. The slippery slope is what the young lady did. Okay, fine. She did this. What the guy Snowden did, who's over in Russia. He exposed, that NSA is leaking and is listening to our conversation. Okay, this young lady exposed that there is a racist in the NBA who, needed to be exposed. Okay, so we gotta look at it now before we start throwing stones in our glass houses. Okay, fine. He's exposed. We know what he is. Whatever penalties are gonna come. But what about us? What are we gonna do? The people who are hurt most by it, the people who are white people that feel most appalled by this, and the black people, and the Hispanic, and the Asian that say, somebody probably feels that way about Asians. Somebody probably feels that way about Latinos. So it's just, what we gonna do now? Okay, now that we've gotten rid of the one guy, but what I didn't want to do, I didn't want these people to go and have this witch hunt and then crucify this guy publicly before we found out who all the others are. Because here's the question. If anybody's out there that has any power or any reach at all, here's the question. This is where the NBA is the beginning of the end for me, because the ones who don't vote for this guy to sell the team, they're basically exposing themselves as the ones who were the hardliners doing this horrible collective bargaining agreement that they forced down the players' throats. That's the big question here. Those people need to be exposed. Now they're going to really be exposed why they were hardlining. They weren't hardlining because they wanted more money. They were hardlining because they were agreeing with the racists. You got to believe that Donald Sterling had a voice and people were listening to him during those meetings when they were trying to negotiate between the owners and the players. That's a bigger problem.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I think this is interesting debate. And the one thing about race relations that I do like is the fact that people can debate it, they can talk about it, they can put it on the table, and they can try to vet out resolutions. And I'm not sure if there are ever resolutions because, again, when we talk about this guy's age, I know 75, 80-year-old black people who absolutely hate white people. Mm-hmm. And there's absolutely nothing you can say to them. And so I don't know if I could honestly be saying to them, well, you know what? Because of your true deep, deep hatred, I'm going to take away business opportunities from you. Because you know what? You hate whoever. And so I can, even if you're not going to be discriminatory, you hate whoever. So I can't allow you in that arena. I'm just not sure that I can do that. That's all I'm saying. Me being the person who I am, I'm not sure I can do that if I was overseeing all business.
But some of the marketers was taking themselves away from them. Immediately, a dozen of them were gone.
No, but I think they have to.
Why?
Because they don't want to associate themselves with
everybody didn't leave.
No, I think most of them are gone now.
Right, but everybody didn't leave.
After they authenticated the tape, right? Now people are leaving.
And why don't you want to associate yourself with it?
They don't.
But why wouldn't
If I'm a worker and I have an opportunity, I'm a payer. That's the difference. I'm paying to sponsor you. Of course, I don't want to. I want you to be who I want you to be because I'm paying you. If I get a chance to work for you, that's something totally different. I'm paying you. So yes, I don't want my employees to be racist. Of course not. I don't. If I'm the employer, I don't want my employees to be racist.
But it's okay for you to be racist.
I can tell you one thing.
If I could get away with it, that's what I'm saying.
You know what? Let's go back to the Clippers. Andy Rosen was Donald Sterling's right-hand man back when I played. That's back in the 80s, 86. Andy Rosen is still running the team. So you can't work with someone like him that close. Here's a girlfriend, a gold digger, a fly-by-nighter, and he exposes himself to her. You want to tell me that Andy running the team
absolutely he
isn't
knew.
hearing this madness about how Donald wants things done?
Yeah, but it wasn't affecting him, though.
Pardon me?
It wasn't affecting him, though. So if it were African-American there, I probably would feel a little bit differently and have...
I'm just saying Andy Rosen, when you start looking at the bigger picture, everybody's talking about all that's going on. What I want to know is the employees that were carrying out Donald Sterling's wishes on what he wanted to do with his money and how he wanted it done. those people had to execute that, and I'm sure he gave them his opinion of why.
Oh, absolutely, they knew. Absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind. Anybody that was close and had interactions with him daily or quarterly or however it worked out, they absolutely knew who Donald Sterling was. There's no question in my mind. No
so
question.
The question is now, do the people who have been subjected to this man, who left jobs that they absolutely loved, who left under duress, who weren't promoted, who weren't given raises, who were mistreated on doing maternity time or whatever, woman having a child, whatever was going on that's been happening in that organization under Don Sterling's watch and David Stern's watch,
right,
and Andy Rose.
That's the key component right there. David Stern's watch. That's the key component for me. Absolutely. He's huffing and puffing.
I don't know how much I'm going to implicate David Stern in this. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided yet.
You have to. Steph.
David is complicit.
Absolutely.
He's complicit. He's in it. No matter what.
Steph, I blew through 2 breaks talking to you, so I absolutely appreciate you coming on. You always help me out when I call you in an emergent situation. I do want to ask you one more thing, though. In July, where am I going?
What's the question?
What we doing in July?
June, you come in here, and I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you by one of my neighbors' house and show you his, barbecue and the whole nine, how they do it down here. You like pig?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You eat pig?
They got that pig, that pork down there. Okay.
No pig for you.
Hey, Steph, I don't know you, but can I come?
No pig for your boy.
Hey, Steph, I don't know you, but can I come?
No pig. He was a name like Rasul.
Some critters.
No pig for your boy. No pig for your boy.
Hey, Steph,
I'm with
critters.
that beef. I'm with that beef.
We won't serve you no
I'm
pig,
with that beef, though.
We're going to treat you right.
But,
you eat only fish and pheasant. That's all you eat.
Critters.
We stay with the
critters.
fish. We ain't going no pheasant.
We will go out and get all our food fresh.
But let's talk about the California trip.
California trip is a trip at Venice Beach where you guys hopefully will be airing, and it's just one of those. You can go online and find out all that's going on the 26th of July at Venice Beach in Los Angeles.
Wait,
Steph.
We can't give out the exact date. Don't give out the exact address. People are looking for us. No, I'm just messing.
Hey, you know what? I got all the technology. I got the iPhone with the high tech mic. And
Okay.
all we gotta do, we made a film departure from iPhone only.
Wow.
Everything we shot at was from iPhone.
Wow.
We won the iPhone Film Festival.
Okay.
So you can do everything you need to do with just your iPhone, a place to sit down and have your little mic, and we'll do whatever we need to do. We'll broadcast.
Steph, I promise you everything on everything. Unless there's a catastrophe or something, I'm in the building. I'm absolutely coming out to hang out with you, man. You're like a super big brother to me, man. I
We're in the
appreciate
house
you.
in Hollywood Hills. We're doing it big, so we don't want to have to go too far when we step down in Hollywood. And